the user logs in 20 times a day. But it is typically we all do the same way. The same way.
Yeah. Actually, to answer your question a little bit more, something else that could do, once I have a catalog of messages, I have a system tell me when it sees a message that it's never seen before. And I know when we have intrusions, I often go and look at the logs around this time to see what I can learn happened. And sometimes I find messages I didn't know about, or messages I'd never seen before. I think in some cases there are messages that were never actually generated before. That sort of thing. You had a question, or did I answer it?
Okay. Is anyone sharing their swap signatures now? I mean, that's been around for a while. And
there's some.
SSH or Linux have like standard signatures that people would be sharing.
You also get things like new version of SSH comes out and they've changed the log messages in some way, or that sort of thing. So there's some, but not on the scale that one would need. That sort of thing. Not on the order of 10,000 patterns to work with. And some of it comes from a lot of the people doing that are using. We're running 4 or 5 different operating systems at STSC, and so different OS versions and other things. So what you get is somebody writes it for, like for instance, doing the SSH patterns I might have fewer patterns if I was working with one version of SSH, but these are patterns that match 4 or 5 different versions, things like that. Other questions?
I just want to mention, IBM has done a lot of work in this area. They have something called log analyzer, and it's got a parser and all the graphics stuff.
Okay.
So
do they actually have? Do they have a catalog of their messages or log messages that it will automatically parse?
Clever algorithms to do the mining.
Okay. Yeah, I'll bet they don't. I bet they require you to provide the actual patterns to be matched.
It's a system, also a system log analyzer.
Right.
What, to the extent that I'm not sure we're talking about the same thing, so maybe there's something better. What I'm familiar with from IBM, their premise is this. Given this set of patterns, this is how it will work. Right. There is no pattern recovery, pattern discovery there. And this is the first thing that you want.
Yeah. Could you apply the million monkeys solution to this? No. If you had a package that came with a set of patterns, 2 or 3, 500 that you developed yourself, and then you distributed that to 100 sysadmins, and they would categorize the unique messages that they came up with, and those would go back in and then get distributed so that everybody would benefit from the new patterns. Okay, rather than you having to do 10,000, you've got 100 people
each doing
10,000.
That's might be an approach. I don't have a lot of faith in getting enough people to actually contribute to it, to be honest. Yeah, but how many people want to do that? And also, it turns out writing these patterns can be tedious. Certainly, writing with regular expressions can be very bad. Regular expressions are good for some things, but when you have to write them by hand and debug them, it takes entirely too long to do hundreds of them. That sort of thing.
That would show them, okay, here's a new message I haven't identified. Mark over the things that are noise word. Mark over the.
That is actually where I was going at one point, or before I got to this point. I was thinking about some things like that, but there will also always be new messages and other things. This is if I can. That's a way to do it, and maybe the way is just to get some funding and hire a whole bunch of interns for 6 months or something like that. But if I can come up with this, I think it'll have a lot of useful applications.
Okay, why don't we thank our speaker now.